nutritionist Lebo Matseho Roda has a few ideas that will keep your kids asking for more while also leaving some money in your pocket. And she joins us in studio this morning. A very good morning, Wakamancha.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, you know, this is always a headache for parents because children are also very, very particular.
Yes.
Let's start with the most important meal of the day and making sure that we energize our kids and get them off on a right note. What to eat?
Breakfast is very key, as always, and it's important that you prepare the previous day for breakfast. Porridge is good, it's on budget, it's very cost effective as compared to other cereals that are on shelf. And egg, I love eggs. Egg is, for me, it's a superfood that you can make it the way the kids prefer it. You know, you can poach it, you can boil it, you know, but you have to make time for all that.
What about toast?
You can have a toast, brown bread, preferably. You can have a toast, and you can put some peanut butter on the toast because it's nice and crunchy for the kids. And fruits.
Yes. And mutohowa mabele?
Mutohowa mabele is also acceptable. It's also nice. And when parents sprinkle sugar or kids sprinkle, let it be at a minimum amount, you know, because
not
too much because we really want to reduce sugar consumption with kids. You know? So they need breakfast for cognitive performance, concentration in class. It's very key that kids have a meal in the morning. And for those that have a meal at school through the feeding scheme, we must encourage our children to eat when they get to school.
100%. And then it comes time for lunch. And then you find someone that says, I don't want peanut butter and jam. And we grew up on peanut butter and jam. It was a delicious sandwich, but kids today want colorful things in their lunch boxes. Let's talk through what we have here, starting with this one specifically. So in here, you've got salad. You've also got tinned fish.
Yes, pilchards, yes.
So and carrots. Yeah. So is this enough? There's what, 2 lunch breaks during school? So
yes, that's why we also encourage a snack. You know, you have to pack a fruit, you have to pack popcorns in there. I have a pack of popcorns there. Popcorns, especially ones that are homemade. You know, because you're working on a budget, a predetermined budget. So you've got to avoid things that are pre-packed from on shelf and make and prepare from home. You know, so there are variety, enormous. These are just a few ideas. You have pilchards. Pilchard is a very, very cost-effective type of fish that you can give to kids. It's packed with omega-3. Omega-3 studies have shown that they actually enhance cognitive performance, brain development and functioning. So it's very good, and also eye health. You know, and I know some kids would say, I don't like the bones in there. Those are packed with calcium.
And they're super soft.
They're super soft. So you've got to encourage them to eat that. And kids love color. You know, just add color. So I have carrot sticks in there, and lettuce, you can shred it. If it's not lettuce, it can be cabbage. Because there are kids who do love cabbage. You can add it in there, or it can be spinach, you know. Because sometimes we actually influence kids through our own habits, you know. I don't like something, therefore I don't allow my kids to explore. So it's very important to allow kids to explore and involve them, you know.
Or you find a parent that says, "Oh, manaka utlolapa mogaska khora," because it's like it's a small serving. So in terms of serving, just how much should we pack for the babas?
2 slices are fine. Brown bread is fine, and because there is fruit, and for those parents who have like a bigger or a higher budget, because families differ, family budgets differ, you know. There are those that are working on a low budget, and there are those middle class that can afford a pot of yogurt. They can do that. And milk, you know, there are kids who would love to drink milk, but because parents think that, okay, I can't pack milk, you can.
At which age do children stop drinking milk?
Children shouldn't stop drinking milk.
So they should
Calcium is very key. So we should encourage our children to drink milk throughout. We shouldn't stop them and say, now you can opt for something else. And alternatively, it's water, you know. On a budget, avoid fruit juice, sugary drinks. Just pack water, tap water. It's bottomless. It's safe. South African water is safe to drink.
Yeah.
So, and you can even give it some color. You can cut some fruit, allow the child to explore with it, and add some cucumber in water.
How about actually preparing the lunch with your child? And in that, there's a lesson, right? So you talk them through all the different proteins that are contained in the food and the goodness of actually having water instead of having fizzy drinks.
Exactly. You know, we eat with our eyes. We actually tend to memorize as we do, as we practice, more than a theory. You know, when someone is teaching you through theory, it's not easy to memorize. But if we involve our children, and when we do preparations, it becomes an educational activity. It becomes fun, you know. So we have to involve them. You know, and the decisions to pick a fruit, that's a basic decision. You can ask your child to say what sort of fruit you want to have today, you know, and they opt. You give them options to say what sort of snack you have today. Here's popcorns. Would you like to have popcorns? And there's nothing stopping you from adding dried fruits into popcorns. Dried fruits like raisins. We come from December. People were doing a lot of baking, you know, so they're doing baking puddings and all that. So there are some raisins left in that cupboard, so you can pack and sprinkle together with popcorns or with a sandwich. Another thing that I have noticed is that bread, you can toast it. You refer to peanut butter to say, some kids will say, I don't want peanut butter. But if you put peanut butter on a toasted bread, the crunchiness, kids love that crunchiness. You can still sprinkle raisins on it. So let the kids play around and explore with food. In that way, they learn and they get to understand why we have to eat healthier. But then what if you have a child who has a particular palate, and not out of choice, but because they're allergic to certain things? And we talk about being on a budget, but then we know how expensive it is to have a sickly baba. Exactly. It is expensive to actually have a child who's allergic, but it's very important to consult a medical doctor, because that way you can exclude and know exactly what the child is allergic to, rather than you diagnosing yourself. You know, consult a medical doctor, and they will run the tests and tell you exactly what food the child is specifically allergic to, and you will also get a nutritional advice to say, to make sure that you avoid certain deficiencies. What are the foods to use which have similar nutrient components that the child can also benefit from?
Pine is particular.
Yes.
Must-have foods for 2019.
I always advocate for variety. There is no single food that has all the nutrients. It's a variety that I advocate for. A variety from healthier options, though, not. And secondly, reduce consumption of takeaway foods. Move more, and eat more fruits and vegetables. Include more fruits and vegetables in the child's diet.
But we're in a hurry, and it's just once a week that I buy McDonald's for the children.
The habits, you know, once a week over 365 days a year accumulation. So it's better to actually instill healthy habits, something that you know that the child will be stuck with for a longer period of time, for more years to come, than to say it's once. Once can be cumulatively 100 times or 200 times.
And with our obesity rates, we are the highest on the continent, so we need to be super careful what we also give to our children. Lebo, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming through and chatting to us. That was nutritionist Lebo Matseho Rota.